Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we'll be discussing KubeJS and the marvels you can create with the seemingly simple Minecraft mod. So first of all, what is KubeJS? Well, I'm glad I asked. With KubeJS you can add custom blocks, items, potion effects, remove and create recipes, and so much more. So let's get right into it. First of all, I highly recommend using a text file editor such as Visual Studio Code to do this, because it not only highlights your errors, it also, as the name implies, gives you a better visual comprehension of any text file you can think of, even outside of coding Minecraft. In this case, we'll be writing what are called scripts. These scripts will go into one of 3 folders found in the KubeJS folder in your modpack files. Inside you'll find client scripts, which run, as it says, client scripts for the client. You'll find server scripts that run in-game when you've loaded into the world, as well as startup scripts, which load on the startup of the game where the more hard-coded parts of Minecraft are written. Depending on what we're trying to do, we'll be putting our scripts in one of them. So we're going to go into startup scripts, and we'll create a file in here named whatever you want. We'll just call it tutorial.js. It'll have to be a JavaScript, hence the .js, and we'll go into it. And we'll be adding a custom block, an item, as well as a custom potion effects. By the way, a really cool add-on mod for this is called ProbeJS, which will allow you to autocomplete entries based off of your instance. This is highly useful and it's very simple to set up if you have Visual Studio Code installed. So I'll take the next 15 seconds to show you how to install ProbeJS. So first, download the mod. Then load up a Minecraft world, and in some instances it'll do it for you, but you can type /ProbeJS dump, which will basically dump your whole Minecraft instance into the KubeJS folder, turning it into readable suggestion codes. Next, go to Visual Studio Code in the Extensions tab, install the ProbeJS extension. After that, you can open up your Minecraft files with Visual Studio Code, and we'll get every suggestion you could ever hope for, as long as they're in the KubeJS instance folder. That being said, we'll start by adding a block with what's called an event. Events, if you don't know, are basically Minecraft triggers that Minecraft can listen to and act upon. So we'll go ahead and start typing startup events dot registry parentheses, and we'll do in quotes block and comma space event space equals sign angle bracket curly brackets, enter, and now we have a working code block for registry blocks. Now, if you're on 1.19 or above, then you won't have to worry about this, but if you're using 1.18, then there is one thing you'll need to know. It's all pretty much the same thing in 1.18, with one key difference being the starting line. 1.18 uses a different starting format than this event line right here, and that would be this. So this is what 1.18 would look like in this instance. I'll be continuing to use 1.19 code in this, but I will have the 1.18 equivalent at the top, and all you have to do is uncomment this and delete this and run your code, and it should be the same. I'll also link the KubeJS wiki where it'll have all these changes documented, as well as other useful information such as a list full of events. That being said, we'll be creating a wool block with event.create parentheses quotation marks, and we'll be calling ours mammoth wool. And this is where ProbeJS really shines, because if you press period after this, it'll show you all the possible entries you wouldn't otherwise see if you had not installed ProbeJS. So we'll do .displayname parentheses, and then we'll name it mammoth wool. Enter .material quotation marks wool, sets the block material, defaults to wood, right? This is all ProbeJS right here. It shows you everything. Enter .hardness. The default for wool in vanilla Minecraft is 0.8. And hardness determines how long it takes to mine a block with any tool. .resistance. The default for wool is 0.8, but we'll make it 1.5 since it's mammoth wool. It'll be harder. And this sets the blast resistance of the block. And if you want to make it unbreakable, like Bedrock, you would put dot unbreakable, parentheses, and it makes the block unbreakable as it says here. And you would want to delete these if you had unbreakable, because all this does is a shortcut to maximize the hardness and resistance. So we can also add a tag. If you want it to be mined faster with a specific tool, you can specify that here. So dot tag block, parentheses, quotation marks, Minecraft mineable shovel will do, for example. And we'll also make it tag block, Minecraft wool. And if you're having trouble following along, don't worry, I'll have all these files that I go through down in the description for download. You can pretty much just download all of this and then edit it to fit your needs. And if you want it to require a tool, you would type in requires tool, and then you would set this to true. But for now, we'll leave it at false. If I can type. All right, so if we save this and we run the script, it should add this block to the game. But we also need to do one more thing, and that is to add a texture to it. So if we go back into KubeJS folder, we go into assets folder, it should have this generated already for you as an example. But we'll be going into the blocks assets folder. And I have a asset here already, and you'll have to make sure that this name is the same as this name that we set here, event.create. Okay, so if we did everything correct, we should be able to start the game and see our new block. Keep in mind, while you can /reload the game to reload client or server scripts, to reload a startup script, in most cases, you must do a full restart of the game. So if we go back into game, and we go into the creative inventory and search up mammoth wool, we shall find it right here. And we can place it down. If we go into survival, we can break it with our hands because we set it to that. And yeah, it's just a wool block, mammoth wool block. And since we set it to be mineable with a shovel to make it faster to mine, if we mine it with a shovel, it should be like so, because it has the block tag, mineable with shovel. Okay, so that was a pretty easy start, I would say. Now we'll get into creating an item example. And this one is much simpler than the block example. Now we can't do this in the same code block, so we'll have to go down here to add it in. And we'll type, again, startup events dot registry, parentheses, and we'll type in item this time, comma, event equals bracket, curly brackets, and there we go. So we'll type event.create, parentheses, we'll call it thick string. Oh my god, I can't type. And then we can do display name, and we'll give it a colored name like this for proof of concept. I'll have the site I use to find the color codes in the description as well for you to check out. And that's pretty much it for creating a normal item. And now we just need to put our texture into the KubeJS items folder, and I have a PNG right here for it. Now before I restart the game and show you once again, we will be creating a mob effect. So like before, we'll do startup events.registry. And now we'll do mob effect. And if you would like, you can always copy and paste these and edit this into whatever you need. And here we'll do event.create. We'll call it heavy.modify attribute. And with the mob effect registry, you can basically modify attributes while you have the effect on your character. So we'll be changing the forge entity gravity to make ourselves heavier. And we're able to use any attribute, so if you are on Fabric, there's no need to worry, as you can switch this out for anything else. And next, we'll do comma, enter, and we will need a universal unique ID, otherwise known as a UUID. Now, I will be linking a site for this in the description where you can generate a UUID. Copy that. and you would paste it in quotation marks after this comma. Now we add another comma, enter. We'll put 2 here, comma, quotation marks, and we have 3 options, as you can see from ProbeJS suggestions: addition, multiply base, and multiply total. We'll be using multiply total to multiply it by 2. And then we can go outside of this parentheses right here, do dot, color, and we can set a custom color. ProbeJS is very useful, especially for stuff like this, because you can see all the colors that you can use. Okay, now that that's done, we can go back into our assets folder once again and add in the mob effect texture, which will be in a folder called mob effect. So mob effect. And I have the texture right here, and make sure it is named the same name as your mob effect. So now that we're back in the game, we can look up thick string, right? Now the title is gray as we specified instead of white. And if we do effect give at self KubeJS heavy, we should find it difficult to jump, as well as stay afloat in water if the effect is high enough. And now what we will do is create a recipe to make mammoth string craftable into mammoth wool. So this will be in a server events folder. We will create a new text file and we'll name it recipe.js. So we'll be doing server events this time, .recipes. Event equals bracket, curly bracket, and then we'll do event.shapeless. Since we'll be doing a shapeless recipe, KubeJS mammoth wool. We are specifying the mod as well as the item ID to craft, comma, square brackets, KubeJS thick string, and we will be adding the ingredients within these square brackets. And we'll add 4 since we want it to require 4 string to craft the mammoth wool. So we're gonna make a shaped recipe, so event.shaped, and we are still in these curly brackets because it's still a recipe event. And we're gonna make Minecraft leather leggings. Here we'll define the crafting table by doing AAA, comma, enter, ABA, comma, enter, A space A. And you can put whatever you want in here. This is just specifying the crafting table, right? 3 by 3. And we'll do comma, curly brackets, enter. We'll do A, colon, space, KubeJS, mammoth wool. And then we also want to specify B. So we'll do B colon, Minecraft shears is what we'll be using. So the mammoth wool is A, right? And B will be the shears. So in this example, we are going to damage the ingredient instead of consume the shears. So here after this parentheses, we'll type period damage ingredient, parentheses, Minecraft shears. We're specifying what we want to damage in the recipe, comma, then here we'll specify the damage we want to deal to the durability of the item. So every time we craft leather legs with this recipe, it'll damage the shears 1 durability instead of consuming it. Editor Leo here. I did forget to mention that since this is a server script, we do not have to do a full restart of the game. Instead, what you can do for most server scripts is KubeJS reload server scripts, or for recipes, in our case, we will have to do a /reload. So just to test this recipe out in game, we will place down a crafting table, and if we place 4 in any slot, it should create mammoth wool. So we'll make a bunch of these, right? And then we want shears, and we will craft leather leggings like so, and it will consume 1 durability of the shears. So next we will be learning how to remove recipes. Here I am just going to copy and paste an example script I've written to make it easier for you guys to edit this. So I'll explain each of these fields and what they do. So if you remove by recipe ID, For example, if we go back into here, and we go into here, the recipe ID for an iron ingot being crafted in a crafting table is named Minecraft iron ingot from iron block, Minecraft iron ingot from nuggets. They have different recipe IDs, which means you can remove a specific crafting recipe instead of removing the whole thing. So here the recipe of smelting an iron ore into an iron ingot is called Minecraft iron ingot from smelting iron ore. So we'll be doing that. So we'll do quotation marks, Minecraft iron ingot from smelting iron ore. And if you wanted to add more entries, you would follow the format we had up here, right? And you would add more of your recipes here. Next, we'll be showing you how to remove by ingredient input. This will remove every recipe that has this specific ingredient in it. So if we want to, for example, remove Minecraft diamond, it would remove everything that diamonds are used for, including armor, the block, weapons, tools, etc. Last but not least, we'll remove by recipe output, and as the name suggests, it'll be the item ID that you'll be putting in here. Here we'll put Minecraft gold ingot, and this will remove every recipe that has a gold ingot in it in the output, right? So it'll remove all these. So if we do /reload, it'll be removed, as well as if we were to try to smelt iron into iron ingots, it won't work, but raw iron should still have its recipe, while diamonds are no longer used for anything. All right, and on to the last script folder is client scripts. We will be adding tooltips as well as renaming items here. And I have 2 example scripts here for us to mess with. Once we load this in, we will see rename, quotation mark, comma, quotation mark. This is being specified as the item we want to rename, as well as the new item name right here. So here, for example, we will be renaming Minecraft jungle leaves into a colored jungle foliage. And if you wanted to rename another item, all you have to do is copy, paste, so you still have this. We'll make this jungle log, and this will be jungle timber. And we'll make this a different color. And if we go back into game, most client scripts will only require you to do /KubeJS reload client scripts, but in our case, since we're renaming items, we will do F3T because that is required. So if you don't see your changes, just do F3T, reload your textures, and hopefully it'll work. So if we were to grow a jungle sapling, so if we take a look at jungle logs and jungle leaves, this will say jungle foliage, and this will say jungle timber. All right, moving on to the last script, I have another example script for you guys to download. And here we are in the example tooltips JavaScript file, and I will be explaining this starting with this block. So we are doing an item event of tooltips. We have the event specified, and we will be doing an advanced tooltip right here. We'll be doing event.addAdvanced, and we'll be specifying the item here. In this case, it'll be thick string that we added earlier. And we will be adding the text more like rope if you ask me. And this will be gold. This is where ProbeJS is very useful. You can type period after this, and it will show you all the colors entries that you can use. So we can specify maybe dark purple we want, and then we put parentheses afterwards. So this is a simple tooltip. If you wanted to make the tooltip only show when the player is shifting, then we will have to run an if statement. And this is the same format as above. We have the mammoth wool specified here, and we're running an if statement. If the event is not shifting, if the player is not shifting, then it will add this text saying hold shift to see description. And this is gold, yellow, gold. And then we're running an else if statement. Else, if this condition was not met, it'll check for this condition. So else if the player is shifting, we'll add text of from and then text to ancient beast. Now, one last thing I want to explain before we take a look at it in game are these numbers here. This specifies which order your entries are going to be from. For example, this text add will be a line above Ancient Beast since it is 1 and this one is 2. And if we go back into game, do KubeJS reload client scripts, tooltips can be reloaded with the client script reload command. And if we go into here, our mammoth will say hold shift to see description, and if we hold shift, it will reveal the description from an ancient beast on different lines as we specified. And over here it has a lore-like tooltip, more like rope if you ask me. So hopefully this helped you out. If you did enjoy this tutorial, please smash that like button as well as subscribe, as it motivates me to make future videos. And if you have any questions or having trouble and seek help with your script, then you can join the Discord and open up a Discord ticket in the support section, link in the description. And there are many people who will take a look at your script and tell you exactly what went wrong. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.